like for example, there's Smoky Mountain Pizza.
That's great. That's a great place.
No, it's not Smoky Mountain.
Well,
It's not a chain, it's.
No, it's a local. It's a local one. So there's some places that are. There used to be a place called, when I was a young child to teenager, it was called Louis Pizza, and it was the best pizza in the world, and it was a real famous place. It was in an old, I think, Lutheran church building, and so you had the stained glass windows, and the ambiance was amazing, and that's where we ate all the time. And as teenagers, we'd go, and then they tore it down.
Oh, no.
And you can go to Boise and there's Louis Pizza, but it's not the same.
before some of you were born, right here at Hillside Plaza.
You're really making a lot of deprecating comments, right? Is that the word?
I didn't even make the initial one.
No.
Lincoln.
God.
Used to have a pizza place.
He
right
teed
here.
you up there, yeah.
Used to have a pizza place at Hillside Plaza. It's called the Rat Skeleton. Remember that one?
Well, not that, I went to one in Sugar House, but
Yeah,
yeah.
the same one that was in Sugar House.
You know, it was probably 100 years after you were there, but yeah.
But it had big wood tables. And just, really quaint.
Is that where you grew up in Sugar House then?
Yeah.
Ish?
Island Park is what they call the area I grew up in, but
Oh, where the Highland High School is, or?
In
near
Highland
Highland High
Live.
School.
On stream anyway.
She said Island Park, and I know an
Highland.
Highland. I know an Island Park.
Yeah.
That's an island.
My grandfather worked in Island Park.
Okay, near Yellowstone, yeah.
My daughter wants to have a cabin on the island.
Oh, really?
Island Park is great.
Oh.
I have a really close friend from
Happy
Island
New Year,
Park.
Shane.
You too, Mike.
And it's cabin there, and it's a lot.
It's a beautiful place.
So it's next Thursday? Are we allowed to talk about it, or no, we're still chatting?
Nice girls got away.
What is that Thursday?
No.
The breakfast,
It's
whatever.
this.
Oh, this Thursday.
Legislative break.
Oh, this Thursday.
Yeah.
Jeez.
7:30. I just thought it was,
Does he know that we're?
it was close to it. Yeah, there's somebody that was talking to
Tim, am I supposed to be there? I traditionally have been there, but I haven't, I didn't know whether I was supposed to be there or not this year.
Yeah, let me see.
It'd be good to have you there.
It's up to you, I just
Didn't
didn't want to
Ann
not
send your
come.
name out?
Yeah, I've got you actually as RSVP.
Making a big presentation.
Keynote
Surprised you didn't know
You have
that.
a PowerPoint?
I RSVP?
I
I'm
have the
listening.
RSVP.
Okay, well, then, my fault.
Maybe it was Mimi. But
Maybe I
So,
better
yes.
check my calendar.
You have 7:30 a.m. at Market Street, downstairs, as soon as we've done it.
It's upstairs.
I love this
It's
dessert.
upstairs this time.
I don't know what it is about it, but I love it.
Well, it's in an area that's not downstairs. It's just not that familiar.
Apologies.
I bet it's
This
up-
Thursday at 7:30 at
There's an
Market
area upstairs too. I've never been there.
It's gonna be upstairs
Hurrying back.
on the top floor instead on
What did I do?
bottom.
Everyone's here.
Okay.
No. All right. I think it's important we kind of touch base quickly on,
Are we going back in?
oh yeah, I'm sorry, yeah,
Yes.
when you're ready. Just for a minute, we'll do it out of here. All right, your sugar.
We're broadcasting.
Okay, reconvene our work session of the city council, and just looking at the agenda, the next item was the calendar of events coming up. And this Thursday morning, the 10th, well, first tomorrow morning, I guess, the Mike Business Association has a Cottonwood Connect social. I don't know if somebody's going to that.
Tomorrow, I'll be there.
Yeah, great. Thursday morning, 7:30 is a legislative breakfast where we have most of our legislators that will be there.
Yeah. I have a list of who's planning. on
Who
coming. Yes.
said yes?
We
Who do
have,
we like the most?
let's see, we have Representative
Elias
Eliason,
Eliason.
Olson, Senator Reeve and
Oh,
Cottonwood.
yeah, she's doing it.
Those are,
Yep.
and Spinla, Representative Spinla,
Okay.
they're all RSVP.
And we have, the trust will be there too, right?
Did we invite Greg? Curtis?
Yes.
Yes,
Most of these
and
people
Brian
just-
and Greg, just a second here. They're both gonna be there, Brian Allen and Greg Curtis, and also Chantel, Nate. Chantel Nate will be there also. Yeah.
Okay, so the subject matter that will be presented, you want to go through that list real quickly and?
Yeah, now this is just this is
The
a draft.
And
The-
I'll be working with Tim tomorrow again to add some stuff to it. Not add to it, but.
Just a draft to kind of give us a topic list and also kind of the flow of the meeting. We will have welcome, you want me to go through this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome and introductions, and then also just recognize our lobbyists there, especially for our representatives to know who they are and that they're working for us, and the contact between them is gonna be important. Then we're gonna allow Cameron Deal will be there from the league, and Rachel Otto, and we're just gonna allow them a few minutes to talk about some of the things that they've been working on. We had a league policy committee this week, and there's a lot of topics that they're gonna be focusing on up there. And then we'll just briefly talk about Local Officials Day that's coming up, and that we wanna be a part of that, and also interact with our representatives at that. And then the discussion issues, they're general, but also somewhat specific in some of the things that we may talk about. So land use and focusing on local control, and also fee authority of local governments, those two general areas. We don't have a lot of time to get into a lot of detail.
Yeah, but I want, just from my perspective, I want the council to feel free to add the specifics to it. Because I look at land use, that's such a broad term, but as it impacts us here on the, what we talked about, Bonneville shoreline, the trails, the canyons, the foothills, anything that comes up, because there's word out that the legislature is looking at passing a bill to prohibit local jurisdictions from doing anything federal-wise, like if the Mountain Accord were to proceed on
CWC.
CWC proceeding on the federal designation that they're trying to require, should you correct me from the state, require that we go through state legislature and have approval to do something like that. That's one thing.
Yeah, the CWC got hauled into a 6-hour
Legislative committee
hearing,
meeting, yeah.
6-hour hearing before the legislative subcommittee called the Commission for the Sustainability of Public Lands.
Yeah.
And who views themselves as what by statute, what they were set up to do is to kind of coordinate the transition of ownership of federal land to state land. You've read about that, and
That's Ivory, is that the guy that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken Ivory.
he's on the committee. And, but they got wind of the fact that the CWC was trying to push this federal designation. And so they hauled, it was actually quite incredible. I found out yesterday that we even got notice. They sent the notice only to Ralph Becker, who was in South America getting ready to get on a raft to go river running. And he was just about to turn off his computer and go completely off the grid when that came in. And so he was then able to alert us, but we had about 1 day's notice that we're supposed to appear before this, 1 or 2 days notice, appear before this subcommittee and give testimony. And got there, and it was not a pleasant experience. It was not a pleasant experience.
Well, again, there's a lot of detail behind this, and my point being is that we want to be made aware of legislation that impacts us locally, which this could, because it's kind of like the inland port thing that's impacted Salt Lake City. there's more and more legislation taking away local control. And where the CWC represents 1.3 million people with the board on it, it's, anyway. It's something we'll want to maybe just brief this group on just a little bit. When we talk about land use.
Yeah, so the theme will be local control
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and fee authority. And then transportation funding,
On land use, do you anticipate that we will talk at all about the initiative question that came up?
Related to a referendum or?
Yes.
The referendum for.
Referendum.
Yeah, I-
used the wrong term.
I know there's gonna be a bill on that.
Yeah, I was at a legislative breakfast this morning with the Senate, and they brought that up as like one of the top 5 things.
Yeah, and so.
Conference of Mayors brought it up as well, yeah.
I guess the question is, as a city, are we asking our lobbyists to take a position on that and communicating that here?
I think we're telling them to be sensitive to it and communicate back to us, because I don't think we're going to take a position until we know what it is.
Yeah, I think we need to kind of understand a little bit about it. Because I've seen not a formal draft, but I've seen components of a developer draft of that, and then the league trying to weigh into that, and so I wouldn't be able to talk a whole lot until I see what that is and.
But I think the
where
point
league's-
is, to Mike's question, do we want to have that as a bullet item for our lobbyists to be sensitive to that issue if it comes up in any legislation? I think we want to know how it impacts us. Then the holidays, just the confusion, perplexed, how to proceed.
We're gonna follow suit at the gravel pit.
Hopefully it's not as bad out.
But I mean,
Yeah.
that's-
Could be, yeah.
Do you want that specifically on here, or?
I'd put it as a bullet item, just topics, yeah. Or we can bring it up verbally, yeah.
That's fine. And then, I'll just be brief on this, transportation funding, just the importance of that, and especially as we've seen reduction in transportation funds, and still we have the maintenance costs and the issues there.
Under transportation, can we put a bullet that, I don't know how to articulate this, that either, well, it's Wasatch Boulevard again. I know the EIS study and the amount of money that's going, but I know just yesterday we were talking to Carlos from UDOT. He spent 14 days and he said it's gotten worse almost every week. Becoming just a real issue in the canyons, which if you drove down Fort Union on a Saturday, you got congestion all the way down to Dan's, just all the way up.
Wow.
So you want specifically Wasatch Boulevard?
Well, Wasatch Boulevard Canyon, something when it comes to.
metering.
Well, I don't know, I mean, that's getting real specific.
detail,
But something, whatever, I think we leave it open to discuss. I'm not ready to jump on metering, but I mean, tolling is already out there is one thing.
Well, they're already metering, so just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever the resolution is, we need to talk about interim attempts to help control what's coming out of the canyon as well as on Wasatch Boulevard and into our city.
I was just gonna say, I know we're gonna have this sidebar after, but it almost seems like there needs to be some kind of a working group on this, of people from different jurisdictions that are working to address the problem, because we cannot let Sandy dictate what's happening. If, we can talk, I don't wanna.
But I think that we need to make sure we're on the same page, which,
Yeah, the traffic on, over the holidays was Little Cottonwood down all the way to the 7-Eleven, all the way to Dan's, all the way to the highway. I think I sent Tim you a picture of the extent of the traffic. And what happens is you have people going up 98, you have people coming from North Salt Lake, and they're going every other car. And so what does that do? It stacks this way. And then people then go over to Lakai and around, and when we get up to the top, this is all backed up, and there's no. So, you know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna meter, you don't meter 1-to-1, you meter 5-to-1 or something. It's just.
The point is, it's a major issue. I think Carlos understands. I talked to him yesterday. Yeah, he had his eyes open, he said he was up for 14 days over last month or something, I don't know. But I think it's a topic that the legislature is going to hear anyway. We might as well know that it's a topic on our agenda.
Wasatch Boulevard Canyon, local impacts related to that. Okay.
And Marie lives right up there, so she,
On that bullet point, would it be, my only thing that I would like to put is the legislature opened up the opportunity for RCD, and we've asked them for funding to actually help county clerk and others see
oh,
what,
and
and
rank choice.
say, you did this, you did this thing, can you help with a little bit of funding to get this done?
Didn't they pass, the legislature passed this unanimously already?
Yeah.
So this
But
is
funding
follow-up.
to,
Yeah.
funding to make sure you
Yeah.
actually do it. So whether that's transportation funding or just funding at a
Well,
point.
put its own bullet on
We can have it
We
as
have to be
rank
real
choice.
quick.
Just real quick to say, you said we could do this, we may need just a little bit of, and it's not even that much money.
Implementation funding.
Didn't they say they're not really ready to do it this year?
Sherry has said that, but that's because she's not
That's her
interested.
opinion,
Well, and
not
I
policy.
think some of it is the funding,
Yeah.
but if the state legislature approves
Gave her
funding,
$100,000 to do it.
then they could probably possibly get it done.
Personally, I think she was against it too, but,
Well, yeah, she said as much.
Takes
That's-
weight.
yeah.
Anyway, tax reform, air quality, incentives
The tax
reform,
reform we're talking about,
Increasing the
protecting,
base.
yeah, protecting local option sales tax, obviously, and the formula.
and truth in taxation with respect to building inflationary things.
Yeah. And then air quality incentives for more sustainable options for residents and local government. And affordable housing, just with this is just Cottonwood Heights involved in discussion.
Well,
along with
affordable
that.
housing, it's just dealing with, I think it's just, the legislature needs to give incentives to help handle the impacts of those things.
That's what I have, just a draft.
That's
Yeah, we don't have a,
Oh, that'll be a lot,
oh, and then council,
because we've asked in the past, and the legislators tell us what they're doing.
yeah, so the question is, I put on here council issues, if you have any other issues during the meeting you wanna bring up, and then we have legislator thoughts. And so I think this, we're gonna fly through this, I wanna hear a lot of their thoughts too.
Well, it'll be interesting because we have two new legislators. It's the first time.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting, yeah.
Do you want, so council issues, do you want that on here?
Well, I think, well,
If there's anything that you have, I
well, we can
want
just
you to
give them
have
an opportunity to
opportunity.
add flavor to something we said. Yeah.
I think we've covered our issues in the, I mean, but
So I'll get rid of
These are our
six,
issues.
but you chime in if
Yeah, please.
you have thoughts, and then let them provide thoughts, and that's
I know a
it.
lot of them tend to be busy as well. It's great that you've got that many RSVPs, that's, of course, I guess we're not trying to get the Senate president.
Our new legislators are enthusiastic and green. We could probably corral them in here and speak to them one-on-one before their session's done.
Yeah. Let them know that their number one goal is Cottonwood Heights.
That's right.
the other thing that would be nice is if we can keep Cameron Deal under a half an hour.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah, tell him he's got 3.5 minutes and
You
he'll
want to
take.
bring the timer?
I'll talk.
Yeah.
You-
And tell him if he brings up the doubling the population, I'm gonna bob him on the head.
And it might,
One more time
More
with
than
that.
time.
Cameron's supposed to be there, Rachel might take more, I don't know, we'll see.
We'll
We
keep-
can
we'll
put them
keep-
at the end.
I'll talk to
Yeah.
Cameron, make sure.
They're last.
Yeah. Okay, just wanted to brief everyone real quickly, kind of general direction we're going. Okay?
So do you, I wasn't at the meeting last year, do you lead the discussion and we just, okay.
Yeah, I'll leave and walk through that, but please.
It's
Yeah,
good things
It's very
to
brief,
do,
it's
too.
very surface, it's just kind of breaking the ice with them, letting them know that we're concerned about these things. You know, the real emphasis is local control, in municipality. It's always things with funding, it's, you know, roads, open space, those types of things, and just add to wherever you feel comfortable in.
It'd be great if you could educate them a little bit on how impacts like what we passed tonight do actually make a difference. based on a conversation I had, like, oh, why even try? Can't, I just want them to be well educated.
Okay, anything else? It's just after 9 and,
Move to adjourn.
okay. Is there a second? No. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Yep.
Darn, I didn't do it fast enough. Yes, see you, chief.
See you, buddy.
Batteries or storage of